Hi, welcome to Ride Alongside. Today we're talking about the top 5 tools to work on your bike from home. Let's take a look. Alright, number 5 on my top list is a good spoke wrench. Now there's lots of spoke wrenches that come on multi-tools and others that are subpar, but I recommend getting one like this from Pedro's or one from Park Tool. There's a few other companies out there that make reputable spoke wrenches, but you want to make sure that you have something that has nice sharp edges on it, and that is very comfortable in your hand for truing your spokes. Why is a spoke wrench on my top 5 list? Well, you need a spoke wrench in order to true up your wheels, and you will need to true them up at some point. Now you can take them into a bike shop, but that's the point of this video, is that you can do some of this stuff from home. And learning how to true your wheels is something that's actually very satisfying and something that will really help you both with your efficiency and preventing you breaking spokes out on the trail. So get yourself a spoke wrench. All right, number 4, these are cable cutters. These ones are from Pedro's. And initially, when I first started working on my bike, I thought, why do I need cable cutters? I could just use a set of diagonal cutters. People call them dikes in the fishing world. Those can cut cables, they can cut cable housing, but they do a horrible job at it. And these leave a nice crisp cut, the kind of cut that you want on your cables and on your housing especially, and they're worth every penny. I've had these for probably almost 15 years now, and they're still going strong. They're super basic. I've loaned them to tons of friends, and you can go and you can buy your housing in bulk. You can buy a bunch of cables from your local bike shop, and you can quickly and efficiently cut your cable housing to the exact same length that it was on your bike already, replace that housing, replace your shifter cable, and your shifting will improve immediately. Get yourself some cable cutters. All right, number 3. Now this is the Blackburn Tradesman multi-tool, and I am not saying that number 3 is a multi-tool at all. It is the chain breaker on this multi-tool. So there are dedicated chain breakers that are standalone, that don't come in a multi-tool, but this one's actually a really good one, and I'm showcasing it here specifically because this tool is pretty great. If you guys would like to see a full review on the Blackburn Tradesman, you can take a look at my initial review of it and my initial thoughts. But I've had this for about 6 months now, and I've got a good idea. There's some things I like, some things I don't like. So leave a comment below if you'd like to see a full review after 6 months of use on this. So the chain breaker, you sit your chain right in this portion, and then it's like a vise that pushes out the pin. And these are super valuable, and I'm showing it on this multi-tool for a variety of reasons. One, I really like this design, but 2, you should always have one with you when you're out on the trail. You never know when you're going to break a chain, and if you do break a chain, it's nice to be able to pop off that broken link and to either push the pin back in or to use one of the quick links and put it back together. The latter is what I prefer and why I'm recommending this particular chain breaker. This one actually has this tool here, which helps to break apart those quick links that are already in place on your bike. So if you need to remove a quick link, this is the best tool I've found so far to do so. So get yourself a chain breaker, and if you don't have a multi-tool that you carry with you already, you're looking for a good one, the Blackburn's Tradesman is one that I recommend. All right, number 2, get yourself a good set of dedicated metric Allen keys in size 2 through 10, ideally. These aren't the best at all, and I'm missing number 3, as you can probably see there. These ones have rounded off a little bit. I highly recommend spending some good money on some good Allen keys. Park and Pedro's are the ones I'd recommend first. There's also some other ones that aren't bad, but get yourself a dedicated set. You could use them on your multi-tool, but you're going to find that having these are so much more useful for working on your bike at home. When you pull out the L-shaped hex wrench, or Allen key as they're also called, you'll see that you've got a short end they'll work, and a long end they'll work. The long end is good for getting in to tight spaces, and having a ball end is actually pretty nice because you can use it at a bunch of different angles. Just have to make sure that you don't use this with a lot of torque, otherwise you might strip out your bolts, or you could even round off this head of the Allen key. So it's nice to have that long end to get in on stuff, whereas you only have a short end on the multi-tool. But it's also nice to have this short end with a long handle, because then you can get a lot of torque on that Allen key when you need to tighten up those Allen bolts, or hex bolts as they're also called. So get yourself a good set of dedicated Allen keys. You'll have these for years, maybe decades, and if you buy a good set, they can last a lifetime. So get yourself a good set of Allen keys. All right, that brings us to number one. And if you've been looking in the background, you might see that number one sitting there. And the number one is a bike stand, a dedicated bike stand that you can work on your bike and have it lifted up off the ground. Now, I've got the Park Tool PCS one, and I've had this one for, let's see, 13, 14 years. So you can see it's big and bulky, and these legs stick out like that. They don't fold up. There's a lot of other options on the market that fold and get smaller than this. This one's one of the more economical, and you can see when I set it on the ground, it's right at chest height. Now, I'd prefer for it to go up and down and to have some telescopic action on this vertical piece, but the big part is the head of this, and that it can rotate and it can clamp onto different seat post sizes. So I really like this style. A lot of people are going to a more minimalistic approach. Feedback Sports has their Scorpion stand, and people are even making their own using a DIY guide on Instructables, and I'll show a photo of that right now. But the point is to get a dedicated way to get your bike up off the ground so you can work on it. The wheels can spin. So I really like the PCS 1. There's also the PCS 10. That's one I'd definitely recommend over the PCS 1 if you've got some extra money. But you can spend hundreds of dollars on a bike stand. You will want to bring your bike stand with you on occasion. And there are even bike racks that attached to the hitch of your vehicle, like QAT makes one that has a bike stand built in where you can actually work on your bike at the trailhead. And that's super convenient if you ever go camping, if you're ever at a bike race or some other event, staying at a friend's house, and you got to get your bike running or something's broken and that you didn't expect. It's super nice to be able to have your bike stand with you. This one that I have, the PCS 1 from Park, is super hard to bring with me places because it's so bulky. But if I had Feedback Sports also makes one that collapses down kind of like a tripod style, and there's other companies that make them as well. Pedro's makes them, Toe Peak makes them, Park obviously makes them, and you can find ones that compact down pretty small so you can bring them with you, and those are what I'd highly recommend investing in. All right, so that's my top 5 recommendations for tools to work on your bike at home. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below, and also leave a comment of what your favorite tools are to work on your bikes at home if you already have experience with that. I'm Nick from RideAlongside. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll have more content for you real soon.